What's your name? Do you eat pussy? Is that like your thing?
Yes.
Wait, so you just said it takes one person to make a child? So that's not how biology works. You have to have a sperm and an egg to make a child?
We're tired of being at the lower bottom of the food chain. Yeah, it's an offensive word, and I guess you'll laugh at me, but that's okay.
Hi, I don't know your name, but what's your name?
What was that?
What's your name?
And now that we're not on YouTube, I wish you guys told me this sooner.
Okay, I was trying to be respectful, but that's kind of crazy, bro. Anyway, okay, so your whole thing about women is like that you want to go back.
Move the mic up closer to your mouth.
Okay, I'm
Pause.
sorry.
Yeah, well,
I'm
actually,
sorry.
But yeah, whatever.
So your whole thing about women is that you want to go back and like shaming and like make sure that women are appropriate women. Is that like your thing?
Yes, we need to bring back shaming 100%.
Okay. So
promiscuous women are not good people.
Right. So when you say women's job is to suck dick and make a sandwich, I just want to...
There's other jobs too, but like that's just some of them.
Okay, right. Definitely. I can't. This is just insane that you think this way. Okay, so, but when you say that, I don't understand. You're kind of contradicting yourself, because if women's job is to suck dick and make a sandwich, then how is that okay for not shaming? Because technically oral sex is not sex.
Okay, well, the thing is that, okay. So when I say, let's go with two different things here. So when I say her job is to have sex with a guy, whatever, that's her man.
That's her man, but not her husband?
Or her husband, whatever it may be.
Oh, okay.
Well, either or. So the point is that she's doing that within the confinements of monogamy, right? And then doing what she's supposed to do. But when it comes to shaming, but when it comes to that women being promiscuous, yes, that's a problem.
Okay, right. So, do you eat pussy? Just a question. Do you eat? Is that?
I just said a second ago. No, that's.
Oh, you don't?
Never. No guy should be doing it.
I'm sorry.
None of you guys should be eating vagina, dude. And if you guys do like to do it, that means you're probably a. If I'm gonna be honest. Something's wrong.
Gay? How is that gay? How is that gay?
Because it's submissive behavior, which means you're gay. It's a woman's job to sexually please you, gentlemen, not the other way around. There's a reason why. Like, let's be honest here. Like, it only takes one person to ejaculate and create a kid. God don't care about their nut. Why the fuck would I?
Wait, so you just said it takes one person to make a child? Are you any biology?
No, what I mean as a one person's ejaculation or they're coming.
No, so that's not how biology works. You have to have a sperm and an egg to make a child.
Yeah, but one person has to come to have the kid. The woman doesn't have to come.
Yeah, but
so in other words, God doesn't care about y'all's ejaculation. Why should I?
Well, it's not ejaculating, first of all.
Whatever the fuck it is, who cares? It's irrelevant anyway.
I'm just letting you know.
Ejaculating, I don't know. A woman coming, something that doesn't matter. So no one even knows what is it called anyway? I don't even know. A climax or what?
You obviously wouldn't know.
It doesn't matter.
Right.
Who cares?
No, for real. Who cares? Women suck, honestly.
All right. Fair. Anybody? Anything else? Okay. Next question. Let's bring on Miss. I don't know what your shirt says, but yeah, go ahead. Thank you for being patient.
Hello.
Hi.
I'm a woman here arguing feminism, but that's just because that's what I'm passionate about.
Okay.
I just think that, do you think like equality is the way to improve America?
Equality is a way to build America? No.
Why not?
Because when you go ahead and you prioritize equality, you put people in positions that they don't necessarily deserve because you want to be equal.
But before you just said that like it's good to share ideas with everybody and that's how we improve America.
Yeah, but the ability to share your ideas is contingent upon your competency. So in other words, not everyone's ideology or everyone's opinion matters. And I think that's actually a big issue where we sit here and we take opinions of people that quite frankly aren't qualified or competent enough to give their ideas.
Well, I think everybody is entitled to their opinion.
Even
you shouldn't use that word unless they're medically deficient and yeah, it's an offensive word, and I guess you'll laugh at me, but that's okay.
Well, this is exactly why women should be in positions of power, because she's already offended off of a word.
I'm not offended.
You're like, you should have used that word.
It's just not a good
It's
word.
words.
No, it is a word, yes, but words have meaning. They have a lot
Words
of
are
meaning.
words. You know, what is it? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me. I think that's very powerful. We need to get back to using that.
Yes.
As a matter of fact, like, you know, if you get offended off words, then holy shit, like we can't even have a real conversation if words are what is. But it's fine. We can entertain it here. But yeah, I mean, look, everyone can be entitled to their opinion, but that does not necessarily mean that you deserve for your opinion to be heard.
Okay, sure, whatever. I just think that you coming up here is why men are the way they are. You're spreading hateful words, which I think is crazy. USC even allowed you to come up here and spread.
It's America, First Amendment.
Yeah, but then you just said other people don't have right to opinions.
Yeah. No, again, everyone has freedom of speech, but not all speech matters.
That's not true. All speech matters.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does.
Your speech mattering is contingent upon your competency and your ideas, and you actually not being you being intelligent, being able to convey your ideas in a certain way. Like, there's a reason why people listen to certain people, because they're like, okay, this guy has, you know, good tonality, he's able to speak, he's able to convey himself. No one wants to listen to a bumbling idiot stutter all day like Peter Thiel.
Okay, yeah, that's true. I do agree with that. People have to know how to form their words to get to people who they want to reach.
Absolutely.
And I do agree with that. But I think the fact that what you're spreading, you're the reason why men are the way they are today and why it's so hateful still towards women. That's why feminism exists, because we're tired of being raped, we're tired of being hit, we're tired of being at the lower bottom of the food chain. And if for you for some reason that's like a problem, because obviously you would think we shouldn't have the same rights. You think we shouldn't be equal.
Yeah, I think women need to go back to being second-class citizens. We're going to be honest. I don't think you guys should have the right to vote either, because you guys tend to put idiots in office.
Idiots in office?
You guys do realize that if
What do
we
you
had to
think
rely on the
percent
female
that
vote,
voted
Kamala
for
Harris would be
Trump
president of the United States right now. Do you guys understand that? Like, we'd be booked. And that's what happens when you let women get into positions of power.
Well, when men are positioned of power, they cause wars.
Actually, they've done a study on this, and it's women are more likely to cause wars when in a position of power.
But how many wars have been started by men?
Well, men obviously have been the leaders of the majority of the time,
Okay.
but when women are in positions of power, they're more likely to start wars, actually.
That doesn't even make sense. You don't
Yes.
you're not even on the basis to prove that, because you guys haven't allowed women to be in positions of power.
I'm
until
saying
very
when they
recently.
have been in positions of power, they're more likely to create wars.
That
And you know what the
doesn't
other
make
part
sense.
is, too? That's funny. Women actually prefer to be under male authority. Like, when they polled women, would you rather work for a man or a woman? Most women actually prefer to work for men versus working for women, because the problem with women is that when you guys have your little circles and everything else like that, like, you guys have like this weird like you know, beef and stuff like that, where you guys don't really convey your ideologies to each other. It's like, oh, I don't like her because she's pretty, so like, like, you guys lie to each other all the time. For example, girls will go out, like, let's say you guys are gonna go to the club, right? And like, there's one fat girl in the group and she's wearing a dress and she looks like shit. You guys will sit there and be like, oh, like, put on this dress because it'll look better. When in reality, you just don't want to tell her that she looks fat and you guys are going to get in. Like with men, it's not the same. We're around each other. Hey, dude, you look like a change. We got to get in here, whatever. Like, men are honest with each other. Women aren't, right? And that's a problem. And that bleeds into many other different things.
Yeah, I do agree that women being fake towards each other is a problem, because the only way we'll advance or be better or get tired of all this bigotry and hatred is the fact
Bigotry
that
is
if we
good.
work together.
Bigotry is good.
Why?
Because it identifies problems a lot of the time, so you can recognize pattern and then, put yourself in a position where it's like, damn, I'm walking down the street right now, it's 4 guys, I'm going to cross. You know what I mean? Or, I'm around an Indian guy, he probably is dodging deodorant this week, let me go this way, right? Or, it's just like, let me hide my pennies, I'm around a Jew. Like, it's good to be able to be a bigot and identify patterns. Like, it's good. Like, I'm obviously being funny here a little bit, but the reality is, like, pattern recognition is good. I'll give you an example. Like, as you were coming up to the mic, you were very polite and everything else like that. Nice, voice, whatever. So you're, like, beating stereotypes. But normally girls that look like you are like, well, what you talking about?
Oh, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that.
It's the truth.
We are not being racist on this. No.
Racism
No.
is the reality.
Yes, it is a reality.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make it okay.
I would argue that it's actually
And it's crazy
racism
that
is
you're
good.
arguing against bigotry and stuff when you yourself are, I don't know what your race is or anything, but you obviously have darker skin.
Yeah.
So obviously, even when you're walking down the street, people
Yeah.
are going to judge you. You are
Sure.
not the top of the food chain that you think. Above you are white men. And even now, when you're preaching to them, they'll be like, oh, yeah, I get it, but they still don't like you. because
So-
of what you look like.
So here's the thing that I really like that you said that. So here's the thing, right? What I've realized with men is men typically operate on competency and meritocracy. So in other words, if a guy's competent and he's doing what he's supposed to do and he's successful, other men respect that regardless of skin color. Because men,
not
we are
true.
hierarchical, women are not. You guys are based
That's so
on
not
like,
true.
oh, who's the prettiest and who's cool. Like, you guys are not like us when it comes to status, right? Or understanding meritocracy. Like, men are value-based. For example, with a group of men, it's like, okay, this guy's the most competent, he's gonna be a leader, we have identified roles immediately. There was a show called Bear Grylls, right? Like Survivor, where they had men on an island and women on an island. The men quickly assimilated into groups, figured out who was the most competent at what, had fire built, shelter built, clean water, etc. The women, on the other hand, almost died because they didn't want to go ahead and kill a pig. They were bitching about other things. I don't want to do this, blah, blah. So in other words, it was pandemonium. They couldn't figure shit out. So the point is, regardless of skin color, a lot of the times, when it comes to men, we understand and respect talent. This is why some of the most racist guys will still acknowledge and be like, yeah, Michael Jordan was cool. Because men respect competency regardless of skin color. Women don't, though, a lot of times. You guys are based on some other weird shit. So despite the fact that you're saying like, oh yeah, these people are racist or whatever, the racism is fine. I don't give a shit about that because it's always going to exist. I look at it like this. Prove them wrong. Prove them wrong. Don't be the stereotype. You're doing a good job of it right now. You're not being the Shaniqua that normally black women are. So that's great.
Okay, sure, whatever. And I think that's just not okay to say. Obviously, people are raised.
Everyone here was thinking it when you walked up to the mic. They thought your mic going to be like on some Shaniqua shit. Why do you think they were going, oh?
Okay, actually, it's also depends on where you were raised. Hood or people who live in like the project or things like that, they are systematically kept to stay there. That's why people are selling drugs. That's why that's what they have to do to live, because the government doesn't give them an opportunity to advance or be who they want to be. So you'll stereotype.
I think it's the culture. I don't think it's necessarily. I think it's a problem
Yes, the culture
culture. I
that
think
they're
there's also
forced
like
into.
genetics involved in it to a degree. Who is the congresswoman, a black one? What's her name? She practiced a lot of. What's her fucking name? What's her name? The
Are you
idiot that
black?
always. She
Are
comes
you
from a
black?
rich, affluent
Are
area.
you black?
Yeah, I am. She comes
Okay.
from a rich. Even if I wasn't, it doesn't matter. Anyway,
does matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It's a
Obviously,
word.
you
Who
haven't
cares?
been. Have you been
what's her
affected
name,
by
guys?
racism
What's the
before?
fucking congress? What is it? Jasmine Crockett. Bam. She comes from an affluent area. She talks like a. She goes out and adheres to all the stereotypes, despite the fact that she didn't come from that. Why? Because it's culturally cool to be rude, obnoxious, loud, talk in a way where you're, destroying the English language and using ebonics. She doesn't come from that. But why is she doing that? To go ahead and get her constituents to think that she's the same, when she doesn't come from that. So we have a culture problem when it comes to the black community. Being a nigga is considered being cool. And I'm here to say it's not cool.
It's not cool on what term? Like in the terms of America or whatever?
Joining a gang, speaking like an idiot, not understanding the English language, cutting words off, saying like ax instead of ask, right? Listening to hip hop music, being a whore, shaking ass, twerking. These are all black culture things that are a problem.
All races can do all of those things.
What was that?
All races can do all of those things.
Yeah, but it's black culture that promotes it the most.
How is that true?
So isn't it crazy how like black people get mad at you if you like, talk about hip hop? That's our culture. And then I'm like, all right, well, that's your culture. No, how do you know it's not our culture? This is literally what black people talk about all the time. As a matter of fact, a lot of black activists will get mad if white people rap. They'll say, oh, he ain't one of us. Actually, as a matter of fact, we're going to talk about racism. Blacks are some of the most racist people, if we're going to be honest.
I do agree that there is a big problem with racism in the black culture, especially towards other people of color. I do agree that is a really big problem. But that still doesn't make racism to other people okay.
It's a reality.
I know it is a reality, and that's why people fight it. That's why we try to make it.
I look at it like it's a reality. People aren't going to not be racist. It's your job to prove the stereotypes wrong, because the stereotypes are always going to exist. Like, I don't get mad, because the reality is people are always going to not going to give you the benefit of doubt. Like, they're going to assume certain things about you. And that's fine. It is what it is. It's life. Like, we're going to assume Muslims are terrorists. We're going to assume blacks are criminals. We're going to assume like run America and they subvert their government. We're going to assume, black women are annoying and loud. Like white people can't dance and their chicken doesn't season. Like, we're just going to go ahead and assume these things. It is what it is. That's just the reality. Everyone has negative stereotypes. It's your job to prove the stereotypes wrong.
Oh yeah, I do agree with you on that point. I think it's good to prove stereotypes wrong, but I also don't think it's good for you to belittle people who fit the stereotypes.
I think it's good to belittle them that fit the stereotype. That's how you get them to change. That's another thing that we don't have. We need to bring back shaming.
I do agree.
Yeah, and bullying.
No, because bullying is what
Shaming
leads
is
to
bullying.
suicide.
Shaming is bullying.
Bullying leads to suicide.
I mean, here's the thing. People are soft nowadays.
We're not soft, we're aware.
No, they're soft.
People will talk about us being too woke, but now we just have more information and we're allowed to speak our opinions like I'm doing right now. We're allowed to speak our opinions.
Bullying is one of the best things that can happen, especially to men. It forces you to adapt. It forces you to go to the gym. It forces you to become stronger. It forces you to become it forces you to become better. Like, I talk all the time. Like, for example, me, I was bullied as a kid, right? Me and one of my good friends, his name was Jordan Reed, right? He used to play for the 49ers. We grew up together. His brother, Brandon Reed, who ended up, getting a Super Bowl ring, etc., he used to bully us all the time. We used to get beat up. We couldn't beat them in basketball, but what did we do? We went in practice and we went to the basketball court to train to try to get better, and we eventually won a game against them. But we only did that because we had, the fire in our ass to become better. Men need to be challenged. They need to be beat up a little bit. They need to take the L's. This is why, if we're going to be honest, like a lot of these movies aren't doing so well. Like these Marvel movies or these movies where it's the hero's journey and we're putting like women in it. Like the reality is like it's men that have to become the winners. It's not like men have to go through the hero's journey. It's not women, right? That's why Captain Marvel, no one gave a fuck. You get powers from the beginning. This is nobody cares. So like all these woke movies are losing because it doesn't adhere to reality. The underdog, the guy that wins at the end after getting their asses whooped. It's a masculine journey. Men need to get bullied and deal with adversity to grow stronger.
I think that could be applied to everybody of every gender.
Well, I would say for men even more so. I wish women bullied each other more, but you guys don't. That's why a lot of you guys are fat.
I got bullied by my sisters a lot when I was younger, but they just helped me be like a better person.
Well,
I don't think saying that's like okay, because a lot of bullying, especially nowadays, now that people are just, they'll just say whatever they want, bullying leads to a lot more rates of suicide. And you know who the most people are? Men. Because men get bullied by other men, and they think the only way they have to do this if they can't change is to kill.
Yeah, it's because we live in a soft world.
And you continue to support
It's because we live in a soft world where we don't tell guys that bullying is a rite of passage. We tell them, no, you should not be bullied. It's okay for you to be a depressed. It's okay for you to be mediocre. It's okay for you to be broke. It's okay for you to be a skinny stick and be a like, we tell guys it's okay to be mediocre, but if we told them, look, you getting bullied is a rite of passage. Hazing is good. Getting your stripes is good. Like, this is what we need to tell men instead so they become stronger and they don't become weak. And here's the thing, too, that you guys got to understand. It's the women that suffer from this. As these guys become softer and softer, and they don't want to ask you out on dates, or they tell you, let's go 50-50 or other bullshit, who ends up losing? You guys lose because the men are weaker and don't want to do their jobs. So at the end of the day, weak men lead to hard times.
That's not true. I think you're preaching about what women want, but you're not a woman. And you'll see like, every woman wants this, every woman wants this. First of all, every woman is different. Every person is different.
Women are far more rigid in what they want than men are. Way more.
What do you mean by that?
Women are far pickier than men are, and they want very similar things.
I don't think that's true. That's just from my personal experience. I don't think that's very
okay, look, see, we want to lie here and beat around the bush. The reality is that women want guys that are over 6 feet tall. They want the guy that's in shape, a guy that's competent, a guy that makes a lot of money. They want these things. Like, women are far more rigid and selective in their mating process than men are. So women will sit there and say, I care about personality and friendship. Yeah, that's assuming everything else is met that they don't want to talk about because they don't want to be looked at as surface level and shallow. But the reality is the things that women are looking for are pretty standard, and they're just not honest about it.
Well, I think everybody has their preferences. Like what they want in a person is just who most people just want a good person. And when you're a good person, then there are more opportunities for you than just for
they've done studies on this.
People.
The variance in like what women find attractive versus what men find attractive. Women are far more narrow.
Women are based on physical
and all the guys have the same archetype pretty much. Like versus for men, we're way more open with what we're attracted to. Women are not.
That is very much not true. All men must have the same preference, and it's already. All right,
let's go to the next person because we're short for time.
So I know I'm short for time, so I do apologize to anyone.
Yeah, I didn't realize your time flies when you're having fun. You're triggering people.
But I just kind of want to get into more of a perspective into who you are. So, what's your educational background?
I have a bachelor's degree from Northeastern University.
Okay.
In Boston, Massachusetts.
In what?
Criminal justice.
Okay. So the things that you're speaking about, specifically when it comes to women and biological differences, those are not within your specialty, correct?
You have to be a genius to say 1 + 1 is 2.
Right. Okay. Once again, your degree is in political science, yes. Yet you're speaking of
criminal justice, but that's fine. She's not listening.
My apologies. Criminal justice. But the things that you're saying where women are quote unquote like physically weak and all of that other stuff that
Yes.
you believe is based in science, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then your religious background as well. I wanted to touch on that. So you say that you're not religious, but you grew up in a Muslim household, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I kind of want to understand the connection between these two ideas, where the ideas that you have about women are not based in science, correct? Where you believe your personal beliefs that women should be in the home, correct?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So these ideas come from your religion or that you grew up as?
No, it comes from how human beings have operated since the beginning of time and led to fruitful societies is when women do what they're supposed to do and men do what they're supposed to do.
Okay. So historically, let's talk about that because I am a history major. So let's kind of explore that a little bit. So you're saying that historically men have been in power and that's where their like ideology comes from, correct?
Okay, so based off your argument, I don't even know why we're talking about biology because
Yeah.
you're a history major, so apparently we can't even have this discussion.
Okay, beautiful. Well, let's talk history then. No. Let's talk history. If you believe that's my field, which it is, I'm not.
The point I'm trying to make is that your argument about, oh, you need to be majoring in something or be an expert in it to be able to comment on it is ludicrous. Biology is biology, reality is reality, and unless you're blind, you should be able to acknowledge realities. Men and women are biologically different. This is a fact.
Okay.
And a lot of the things that I say are based off of how things just naturally work a lot of the times because they tend to work that way.
Naturally work.
So, if you disagree and you think like, oh, well, feminism is great and men or women are equal, that's fine. But it just doesn't work, unfortunately.
Okay, so you believe America is an example of where feminism does not work, correct?
There's a bunch of different societies where it's been
Oh.
failing.
Okay, thank you. But fundamentally, you view women's role and value within the house. Within
Yes,
the house
I think that's
and-
where they excel and that's where they should be prioritizing.
and reproduction, correct?
Yes, of having
Okay.
families.
Okay, beautiful. I don't have anything else to say. I honestly just came up here. I didn't come up to debate. I just wanted to learn a little bit more about you and your perspective.
Sure.
Whoever's next.
All right.
Hello
We're on
again.
Rumble, so we can go ahead. So go ahead.
Okay, so I came here at noon. You said come back at 3, and that I was a coward, but I've shown up.
Nice.
So I'm asking you now directly, since you said you would answer it, why do you sympathize with the Nazi Party?
Here's the thing. What I think is, let me give you my position because you don't know my position. My position is simply this. I think that we were lied to about a lot of the things in World War II, and history is written by the victors, not necessarily the losers. And there's some things there that obviously I think are healthy to question, and the fact that we can't question them or that it's illegal in a bunch of different countries is an issue.
Okay, so my next question is, that would be like, I guess, a D or a C grade answer on an assignment. just
Well, here's the
because of
thing,
its
dude. You
vagueness.
asked
So-
me, and I'm giving you the answer. Like,
Well,
you're not the
but, like, the
authority
answer-
on what
the
constitutes
answer
as the
is
answer or
vague,
not.
man.
I'm
The
giving you
answer's
the
vague.
answer because you want me to say what you want me to say, and I'm
No,
telling you
I'm
what it
not
really
asking
is
you-
or what my beliefs are.
No, I'm not asking you to say what I want you to say. I'm asking you
That's
to just
literally
give me,
what it is.
Please give me an example of what you think was a positive aspect of the NSDAP, please.
That's not my position. I'm telling you that they
Bro, you
lied
said this
about.
on your podcast,
That's
man.
not my position. I'm telling you that we were lied to about World War II. Now, look, if you want to go ahead and have this imaginary debate with what you think my position is, that's fine. You can do that on your own. ChatGPT would do a fantastic
So
job.
what was
I'm
that
telling
whole
you is
conversation?
what I'm telling you is simply
conversation with
this.
Nick Fuentes
They
then,
lied.
man?
What?
What was the whole conversation with Nick Fuentes then?
What about it? Nick
Like-
is a good guy. He's a good friend.
Yeah, and you joked about like the aspects of the Holocaust, and you said that there were some positive aspects of the party. So like, could you just give me one of those positive aspects?
So here's the thing. After, for example, they burned the books of the training. That's a W. And then also on top of that, this is irrefutable. Saved Germany after World War I with the Versailles Agreement. This is a fact. They became an economic powerhouse from the after World War I up until the 30s. So the reality is this. Look, we've been told a lot of things about him. What I'm telling you is that he saved this country, and that's a irrefutable fact. Every
Wait,
historian will even
what do you
tell
mean
you this.
this country?
Now, but what?
What do you mean this country? Which country did he save?
Germany.
So are you a German?
I meant to say his country. Germany.
Okay.
He saved his country.
Okay. I mean, I guess that gives me something to work with, but like,
Yeah, see, the
Cool,
thing
thanks,
is, like,
man.
you're trying to get on a gotcha thing, and you can't do it because the facts are simply the facts. Save Germany. This is like history that no one here knows about because he was bad no matter what. But he saved this country after the Versailles Agreement. Also, on top of that, this whole like,
if Hitler saved Germany, what happened to the Nazi Germans?
well, they lost World War II.
So he didn't save Germany.
No, he did, because after World War I, they were cooked. The Versailles Agreement literally had them at one of the worst positions economically ever. They couldn't even buy a loaf of bread.
Basically everywhere else in the world, including the United States. So
what was that?
That was basically the case everywhere in the world besides Germany. Like, including the United States, included Italy, it included the Soviet Union. So why is it specifically Germany that you're harping on?
Again, because he saved Germany after World War I. It was literally in a financial collapse. The Versailles Agreement was destroying them. They couldn't even buy bread.
I'm going to hit you with the Peterson define save.
And that's a fact. What was that?
I'm going to hit you with the Peterson here. Define save.
What?
Could you please define save?
Oh, well, if he had not come in and rose to power, Germany would have fell.
I mean, it did fall in 1945.
Yeah, but he came in and stopped it from falling and increased their livelihood for another 20 years, damn near.
He becomes the chancellor in, 1933? That's when he becomes chancellor of the Reichstag. So that's only about, 12 years?
A decade, something like that. Yeah, still extended the livelihood of Germany for a significant amount of time. The National Socialist Party did a lot for Germany to save them from economic collapse. Like, here's the thing, dude. Look, I don't know what it is. Maybe you have like a boner, like you like Hitler, bad, everything.
No, it's not really that.
Fine.
I just really enjoy history, and so I wanted to get your perspective on it.
And that is the history. He saved Germany after World War I. That's a fact.
You
can't refute that.
What do you mean? How could I refute that?
You just admitted a second ago that he kept it going for another 12 years. That's by definition saving the country.
No, it's not. It's still fell, man.
What?
Because of Hitler. Okay, this is like ridiculous.
Had he not stepped in, they would have fallen sooner.
I'm sorry.
Had he not stepped in, they would have fallen sooner.
It's because of Hitler's policies of annexing other countries like Austria and Czechoslovakia, and then the invasion of the Soviet Union in 1941 that Germany
that was a big
L.
He shouldn't have tried to do that.
So then he didn't save Germany.
He did. He saved it for a period of time. Based on where they were going after World War I, they were in a really bad spot. He turned things around. So look, your thing is like, they need to save them in the world. It's a perpetuity.
The UK was suffering, France was suffering, the United States was suffering. They all turned it around as well. Like, why does it have to be Germany? Why can't you say, like,
guy, man.
Okay.
Because like you're just sitting here just like trying to argue when the reality is you can't refute what I'm saying.
You asked me to ask a question.
So now you're moving the goalpost and you're saying, oh well, he didn't save them forever. He saved them for like 10 plus years. That's not enough. Like, the fact is the fact. He did. You don't like that. So now you're changing the goalpost.
Okay, I think everyone here can agree that this was kind of wasted space.
You didn't win anything, dude. Like, you literally just moved the goalpost.
I am not suggesting I won. I am not suggesting I won.
Because you asked the same stupid question last time. You're going off the jubal fables of like the 6 million.
I didn't ask anything about Jews,
no, but
man.
That's what you tried to ask last time. That's literally what you tried to ask last time. What's your position on this? You're trying to get a gotcha moment, but the reality is, you can't dispute what I'm saying. It's the truth. He did save Germany, even though it was for a finite amount of time. But that's how it goes. Based on where they were going, they would have fell way sooner.
All right, then I will finish with this. If you're interested in learning the actual history of Germany, take modern European history in the history department.
This guy's hand is shaking. He can't even stand on what he's saying.
Yeah, it's kind of
like, dude, this is the problem,
here, man. I'm surrounded by a whole bunch of people. I'm talking to you directly. It's kind of nerve-wracking.
It's nerve-wracking. I can see, but like the thing is that
you at least get to sit down behind a table.
What does that have to do with anything?
I mean, you're not standing up. You're not like.
What does standing up have to do with it? Like that?
This is podium, man. I could hide if I were behind a podium.
But what I'm saying is that the reality is you came in trying to get a gotcha moment. You lost. You changed. You had to change the goalpost because bad. We live in this puss-ass society where literally anybody is considered bad because of certain history written a certain way. The truth is they saved this country, and you don't like that because you want to run around and say Hitler bad. Like, I'm able to go ahead and look at history from another lens and be like, well, maybe this wasn't all the way there, or maybe they're lying about this, or maybe they're sensationalizing this. I'm able to go ahead and exercise some critical thinking and not go off of the narrative that, the mainstream media runs with every single time, where it's like, oh, we need to believe everything we were told about World War II, everything there. You can't question it. 6 million, like, that's what it is. No less, no, maybe more, but no less at all. And if we do, you're going to go to jail if you question that. My thing is, I'm an independent thinker, and I'm able to question certain things, and I don't go off the mainstream narrative, and that's how we find truth. Not listening to historical narratives that people like you perpetuate and spew all the time, saying, this is the correct history. History. How about that one? Because there's history out there that people don't want to talk about because certain people control the narrative, aka, right? Where they want to go ahead and maintain this narrative. It's also interesting too. Let's go ahead and talk about this. Right now, the state of Israel is saying that the amount of people that died in isn't true. They're denying the starvation. They're denying the amount of people that died. They're denying their atrocities, right? Doesn't that sound familiar to what's going on or what happened with the Holocaust? Isn't that interesting? How they're going ahead, even though we can see this 4K that they're lying and saying like, no, bro, we're not starving anybody. Netanyahu going on interviews with the milk boys saying that we're not starving anyone, even though we see kids with their ribs out. So look, guess what? I am going to be questioning the very people that have the ability to lie to us right now with 4K cameras based on what they did damn near 100 years ago. So I will question that.